Welcome to Learn with Rensha, Learning English channel.
What is a relative clause? A relative clause is a part of a sentence that gives more information about a noun. It begins with a relative pronoun like who, whom, whose, which, that, or a relative adverb like when, where, or why. Example: the woman who lives next door is a doctor. The clause who lives next door tells us more about the woman. Relative clauses make our sentences richer and more descriptive. Why we use relative clauses? We use relative clauses to connect ideas smoothly and avoid repeating words. Instead of saying, "I met a man. He lives in Canada," we can combine them and say, "I met a man who lives in Canada." It sounds more natural and fluent. Relative clauses make our speech and writing clearer and more interesting. Now let's look at the most common relative words and see two examples for each one. Who, for people. The doctor who treated my brother was very professional. I met a boy who can play the piano beautifully. We use who to talk about people. It replaces he, she, or they in the sentence. Whom, for people, formal use. The student whom I met yesterday was very polite. The man whom we invited didn't come to the party. We use whom when the person is the object of the clause. In everyday English, most people just say who instead. Whose, to show possession. The boy whose bike was stolen is sad. I met a woman whose son works abroad. We use whose to show ownership. It means the boy's bike or the woman's son. Which, for things or animals. The book which you lent me is interesting. I have a dog which loves swimming. Which is used for objects and animals. It adds more detail about them. That, for people, things, or animals, in defining clauses. The phone that I bought yesterday is expensive. She's the girl that won the prize. That can replace who or which in many sentences, especially in everyday English. Where, for places. The restaurant where we met was amazing. This is the town where I was born. We use where to talk about a place. It replaces in that place. When, 4 times. The day when we first met was unforgettable. 2010 was the year when I started teaching. Use when to talk about time. It replaces on that day or at that time. Why? For reasons. The reason why he's late is traffic. I don't know the reason why she left early. Why gives a reason or cause. It connects the noun reason with its explanation. Now let's talk quickly about the two main kinds of relative clauses, defining and non-defining. Don't worry, it's simple. A defining relative clause gives essential information. It tells us exactly which person or thing we mean. Without it, the sentence doesn't make sense. Let's see how the meaning changes when we use the same sentence in a defining and non-defining way. Example: defining. The woman who won the award is my neighbor. Here, the clause who won the award tells us which woman we mean. It's essential. Without it, we wouldn't know who. Non-defining. My neighbor, who won the award last week, is very kind. Now, the clause who won the award last week adds extra information. We already know which neighbor we're talking about. The commas show it's not essential. A non-defining relative clause gives extra information about a noun we already know. If we remove it, the main meaning of the sentence stays the same. We simply add extra detail. Always use commas in non-defining clauses. Let's look at another example. Defining. The cafe where I had breakfast is very popular. The clause where I had breakfast identifies which cafe. It's an essential information. Non-defining. The cafe where I had breakfast this morning serves the best coffee in town. Here, where I had breakfast this morning gives extra detail about the cafe. We already know which cafe it is. Commas indicate it's optional information. Remember, defining clauses, essential information, can use who, whom, whose, which, that. Non-defining clauses, extra information, cannot use that. Commas are required. Let's look at the example. Using that. People, animals, or things, mostly in defining clauses. Defining. The movie that we watched yesterday was amazing. It's essential. Identifies which movie. Non-defining. That is not used in non-defining clauses. Use who, whom, whose, or which instead.